it's Shawnee Daigle with Champions Realty Team, powered by eXp Realty. And I'm just going to talk to you for a little while. Josue and Rebecca Soto have run into a few technical difficulties, so they're trying to get that straight. So, in the meantime, I want to talk today to my realtors out there. Whether you are an existing agent or whether you've been um, thinking about getting into real estate or you're just starting taking classes. And what brought this thought up is because I received a phone call from a young lady yesterday that is very interested in real estate, and she actually is one course away from taking her exam. And one of her questions to me was, she said she had kind of heard from a couple of friends of hers that were with some large brokerages. And so she called them up and asked them what made them want to switch over to EXP, because she knew they were basically at the top of their game, really top notch agents in their area. And she was just curious, because she had heard about the growth of EXP as of late. Um, and so I told her, well, let me tell you my story and why I came over. As some of you, if you've been following me, I've been in the real estate industry a while. I started off in lending. Well, even prior to that, I was in luxury property management and then lending. And then from there, I went into getting my real estate license and working as a realtor for a number of years before getting my broker's license. And then opening my own independent brokerage, which I owned for 12 years, still own. However, I just moved it under EXP. So when I started off in real estate, of course, being a realtor, and if you're new to the game, oh, here we go. There's Rebecca. So we'll be joining her in just a second. Hey, Rebecca, hold on. There
Hi,
you are. Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, Shani?
Good, good. Okay, so guys, hold that thought, what I was talking about. I want to welcome Rebecca. Rebecca, I'm so happy you're here this morning. Rebecca has Soto Legacy Group, which they had came over to EXP in 2019. So, Rebecca, tell me a little bit about how you started in real estate.
Well, let's see. We started about 16 years ago.
Okay.
Together with my husband, we both got licensed at the same time. And it was right before the crash of the economy of 2008. So
Yep.
just as we are getting momentum and starting to make, deep impact, all of a sudden it's like the carpet's pulled
Bob, fall out. Yep.
from underneath your feet. And so, it was a huge challenge, but I think that it's made us stronger agents today. As
Absolutely.
we've remained in the industry, we ended up opening up our own independent brokerage in 2010. So we ran that company for about 9 years
Awesome.
prior to joining EXP. So it was a really great decision for us because we as we were considering continuing expanding the brokerage, we were seeing a lot of pitfalls and things that we just didn't want to embark on. And I started to take a step back and just kind of look at the bigger picture. And I wanted to see if there was any other options that would offer greater opportunity. And that's where we found EXP. And
Awesome.
when we saw what EXP had to offer, the innovation, the systems and tools, technology, and that was one of our pain points was I kept saying, technology is moving so fast. And so is the real estate industry. It's constantly ever changing. And we love that about this industry, but we knew that we needed to align ourselves with a company that was going to take us into the future.
Right. So you are part of a dynamic duo. Your husband is Josue, and he's also in real estate with you. How did you guys meet?
So we met over 20 some odd years ago, and he was a patient at an office that I was working at.
Oh, wow.
So before real estate, I was a dental assistant, and
Hmm.
he was a truck driver. And
Okay.
so he came in one day as a patient, and incredibly, because I don't date patients,
Right.
my then boss says, you know what, this next patient that's coming in, I want you to bring him in, Rebecca. He's a really great guy. And she starts telling me all about him, and I'm mortified because I'm also new on the job.
Right.
So I'm thinking, she's telling me all about his personal life, and I'm thinking, I just want to keep this job.
Right.
What are you trying to do to me? And so she set us up. She just made me bring him in and take care of him that
Oh,
day. He wasn't on my schedule, so it just that was the start. That was the start of it. After his appointment, we kind of engaged in some small talk, and she was like, all right, Rebecca's got to get back to work. You guys exchange numbers and connect later.
right.
And it was such an awkward introduction, but nonetheless, here we are.
So, how does that work out with being married as well as doing business together?
You know what? To me, it was a wonderful option, because before we had two totally different careers, and although we got paid decent money, we weren't really happy in what we were doing. And they're both good careers, but we each felt like we could do something more, and we wanted to be more impactful. And the opportunity to work together seemed exciting because we knew that we were complementing to each other.
Right.
And so when we did consider real estate, it was something where I was like, you know what? I know that we could do this together with his strengths and mine. This is going to be a really perfect combination that
Right.
we could really do something really beautiful with this. And so, like anything else, you have to, when you start working together, you kind of have to see where those strengths are, right? And
Right.
how they can be applied in the business. So we didn't really understand roles in the beginning. So it
Okay.
was kind of like each one of us was an agent, each one of us had our own clients. And in those early, first couple of years where each one of us are kind of working independently from each other,
Hmm.
we started to notice where we filled in the gaps for each other.
Okay.
And so when the market crashed, and then we started kind of offering out like, short sales and helping, families get out of underwater and things like that. That's where I think it really started to kind of take form, where I started to take more of the marketing role, and marketing, and just kind of working with those clients. But he's more the face, and going out with doing the actual appointments with clients. And so it just kind of started taking shape.
Right.
And so it's just kind of took shape, I guess, starting from there, right? So when we opened up our own company, then he went to mostly being the listing agent, and then I was mostly doing marketing, training, and things like that with agents.
Okay. Great. And then a part of course, your group name is Legacy. And what I found interesting is because I'm the daughter of a realtor and now my son is also a realtor, you have a daughter that's a realtor too.
Yes, yes,
Awesome. So,
yes.
how's she liking it?
It's interesting because, of course, she had started with us, when she was in her high school years. She was helping us process some of those short sales. And she didn't really want to do the business back then. And
Right.
she wanted to do her own thing. But fast forward, she was in a different industry. And during COVID, she got, a leave of absence, and like many others did. And she said, you know what? Maybe I do need to try this out. And so
Right.
she now lives in Puerto Rico, and she got her license out there. And she also works for EXP as the onboarding specialist for Puerto Rico over there.
That's
And
awesome.
it's been amazing. She's learned so much, and she is working directly onboarding agents and doing a lot of training with them on their systems and tools. So it's been a huge experience for her, thrusting her into leadership as well. So
Right.
she loves it. I mean, it's been amazing. And it's such a nice thing to be able to kind of see that legacy living on through her. and
Right.
soon through my son as well, who is getting his license also. So
Okay, congratulations.
thank
That's
you.
one of the great things I love about real estate is because it's actually something you can pass on, to your children and giving them other options. One of the things that I was talking about right before you came on was a young lady that contacted me yesterday that's actually working on finishing up her classes so she can get her license. And she wants to come on board. But also, she mentioned her husband also wants to get his license and come on board.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's awesome in real estate that you can see like whole families passing down and creating generational wealth, and that's awesome.
You,
Um,
I'm sorry, I wanted to
go
share
ahead.
something real quick because before EXP, we had a total different company name. And when we chose Legacy, of course, I felt like it's something that really represented us, the legacy that we had built so far.
Right.
But we wanted to be able to inspire others for them to also build their legacies as well. And so as
Absolutely.
our organization has begun to grow, we are seeing many of our agents adopting the name as well. So it was one of our visions that it would be, like Shani's legacy or, Jose's legacy, and not just
Right.
the Soto legacy. And so many of our agents, without us having communicated that to them, they're automatically taking that name on as well. And it just says a lot about the impact that we
It
make
does.
in the organization, of those people that come into contact with us as we lead and teach and train and inspire one another, because they inspire me too,
Right.
and it's a beautiful legacy. It's a beautiful legacy.
Absolutely. And that's one of the things that I really love is that everyone, no matter what state you're in, no matter whether you're, like you said, in Puerto Rico or where you are, and EXP is like truly one big family and everybody helps and pushes and gets you to where you need to be. And that's definitely an awesome feeling.
Thank you.
And like you said, as far as the growth of agents, what are some of the things that you help your agents with to get, especially new agents, as far as getting their business started? What would be some of the tips that you would give them?
Tips for agents who are getting their business started.
Yes.
I think some agents struggle when they stop taking their training courses. So number one, do your training.
Yes.
I know you want to get out there and start working. That is important, and you have to take action. But if you stop the training, you stop the learning, and then all of a sudden you're stuck in where you want to go. So always be training and literally taking action. I got started from pulling out the contacts in my phone. Like, I didn't have a lead generation system when we first started. CRMs were really not much to be spoken of back then.
Right.
And I literally started with my sphere of influence, and through that, building through it, right? And as you get one or two here and there, and you start to build that business, that database, it just starts compounding. But you got to take daily action. You have to make sure that you're getting, 5 new contacts each day. 5 new
Right.
contacts each day will keep you moving. Don't get stuck on the one person that you're working with, because sometimes we think, well, I can only work with this one person right now.
Yeah.
That's all your brain can handle at the moment. But if you're not also prospecting daily, then you're going to have highs and lows in your
Right.
business.
Right.
So being consistent.
And I think a lot of people think, oh my God, that's hard. I don't like talking to people. I can't do 5 people a day. Look, if you step outside your house, you come in contact with 5 people a day,
Yep.
whether it's going to get a cup of coffee, whether it's going to get lunch, whether it's going to pick up your kids from school, you're going to come in contact with people. And it's a matter of just, even if you're just giving out your card or talking to them and saying hi, or, let people know what you do. I tell people you cannot be a secret agent in real estate.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
And I think it's something that gets better over time, but you have to want to do it. because
Right.
if you are the secret agent, nothing's just going to fall on your lap, right?
Correct.
So personally, I found it very hard to network in the beginning. Kind of, I don't know why. I'm not shy, but I was in the beginning, and I was terrified of talking to people that I didn't know. And between my husband and I, that was his superpower. He could talk to the walls. And sometimes it would make me mad because he's like, "Hey, Rebecca, I want to introduce you to somebody," and I'll be like, "No,
Yeah.
do it." And then I realized, why are you doing that? Stop getting in your own way, Rebecca. Let him introduce you.
Right. Right.
Then I started kind of depending on him to kind of, introduce, or I would tell people like, and I've seen people do it to me. Rebecca, I don't know anyone here. Please introduce me. And I'm like, oh yeah, sure.
Right.
Okay. I'm introducing everybody. If you feel that level of shy, count on somebody. Tell them, hey, can you introduce me to so-and-so,
Absolutely.
and make sure that you're doing your best to get out of your way and be able to make connections, because this is a people business. This is a relationship business. People want to work with people that they know, like, and trust. And if they don't know
Absolutely.
you, if they don't know what you do, because like if I only made one post on my Facebook saying, hey, I'm a realtor, and then I never said anything again, people forget.
Happen.
You
Yeah.
have to be consistently plugging stuff in there. And I'll be honest, nowadays, right? And probably in the past few years, one of the biggest successes is the socializing through Facebook or Facebook, Instagram, any one of the platforms.
Social media.
If you are continuously posting, just sharing your journey, right?
Right.
There's always going to be somebody who says, oh my gosh, I can't believe she's sharing something again. Hey, listen, who cares? Photo dump, who cares? It's my page to do what I want with it.
That's right. If you don't like it, keep scrolling.
That's right. That's right. So you're going to know what I'm doing. But the thing is, you also find people who do love what you're doing.
Yes.
And then when they see you, they're like, hey, I saw that you were doing in the, tell me more about that. And so when you're sharing, that opens up opportunities for you to keep connecting with people. Right now, if I meet with a client, I want to make sure they're in my Facebook, because that's almost better than email. Like, back in the day, you would send an email newsletter so that you could stay in touch with your client database. But if they're in my Facebook, they're seeing everything.
They're going to see it. That's right.
They're seeing everything that I do. And even with people who absolutely don't know me, I've put this to the test before. I have friended people on Facebook, never met them, heard of them or anything, but they're seeing my post or my postings so frequent that soon I see them commenting and talking to me as if they've known me. And then having the opportunity to finally meet in person, it's the greatest thing to make connections.
Or either you're out somewhere and somebody goes, oh, I know you. I follow you on Facebook. I get that all the time. Or I follow you on Instagram. And it's like, you don't know them, but they feel like they know you because there's that connection.
Exactly. And then, of course, the power of video, right? So through the power of video, you get to see people, you see their personalities, you see what they like or dislike, or just, if their level of caring, maybe whatever, and you associate with that. And people begin to feel like they know you, and they start deciding if they like you or not, right? If you seem like you probably share the same ideas, if you seem like a compassionate person. And this is why video is so important, because versus a picture, you can't tell people's personalities through a picture, right? So now it's still powerful, better than nothing, but a video is always going to be more powerful. So, that's something that I tell my agents is I tell them, you got to do video. And even if they're scared to do it, I'll set them up to do their first video shoot, and I'll even do it with them, right? So all of a sudden I'm like going live. I'm like, hey guys, going live with an agent. Oh my God, I've never done this before.
Right.
The conversation.
But people don't
break them in.
And I've had agents like that are like terrified to get in front of a camera. And I'm like, just do it. Just don't stress over the little details. Oh, is my hair right? Is my makeup right? Just get on there and do it. And then once you get over that initial fear, it gets easier every time.
It really does. And even if you're having a bad hair day, people like you the way you are. You're real, you're raw. Everyone else has a bad hair day, so who cares?
Right.
You don't always have to be super duper made up, picture perfect realtor with my blazer on. because that is not always relatable, right?
Correct.
So it's okay to look normal. I've had like some of my agents that have small children. They're like, oh my God, but my kids are jumping all over the place. I'm like, do you know how many other people's kids are
Have
jumping all over
kids,
the
right?
place?
I mean, people that are looking for houses, they have kids.
They
So,
understand and they connect with you. They know that you understand what they're going through because they got
right.
kids jumping all over the place as
That's
well.
it. We're all in this madness together.
Yeah, yeah.
One of the other things, you and your husband actually wrote a book, Married in Real Estate. How did that come about?
So, Married in Real Estate is something that after 20 years of being married, we had met up with a friend who, after spending a day with us, said, you guys are something else. You really should write a book and kind of tell your story.
Yeah.
And we thought, you know what, we think you're right. Like let's do this. So we began to write this book, and this was like January, and by March we're in full pandemic shutdown mode. And we were like, oh, wow,
Yeah.
let's get this book out quick, right? So we really spent every waking hour working on the book, just kind of sharing all of our years of experience from the time we came into the industry, the market crashed, and almost losing it all. And to be honest, we had become homeowners before we got into the industry, and it was our very own home that saved us, financially from a lot of things. And then, of course, it was also like strangling us as well because we had refied some debt into the house, and like we almost lost the house. And somehow through it all, we ended up being able to, we did a loan modification. We were able to save it. We were able to save our credit. And we got through it, and we share with everyone, like what we went through, what we learned, valuable lessons. And so in the book, you'll see it told from my perspective and my husband's perspective. He wanted to be here, by the way, but he had a closing that was at the same time.
Well, yeah, you definitely can't miss the closings.
He
That's the
couldn't be
important
here.
phase.
Yeah, but it also has exercises and areas for you to be able to write in there and reflect on your own life, so that you can kind of learn from those lessons and see how your life compares, or how you could do things differently. So we hope that our life can inspire others to inspire them in this journey to be better. And and we're just happy to be able to share that. Married in Real Estate is the name of the book.
That is awesome. My team, we actually decided to do a book club too. So it's like self-improvement books and books that help with, developing us in real estate. And so right now we're reading Inner Size, but I'm definitely going to add you all's book to that list. So,
oh my gosh, please tell me about it.
I absolutely will. I'll definitely give you feedback on it.
Awesome. I want to be part of it.
Yeah. Now, not to jump topics a lot, but a little bit. Today's market is absolutely crazy. We know there is like shortage and bidding wars. And what would you say to agents that are trying to hold on, survive, and thrive in today's market?
So, just as we did, I think the most important thing, just as we did back in 2008 when the market crashed, I think the most important thing is to be able to change with the times. There was so many things that changed back then, and things that are changing right now.
Right.
And there are people who don't like change. They resist it, or they're angry, or one thing, or they completely give up. And so you have to be open to change and be consistent. But aside from that, I would say find what you're really good at,
Right.
and just be really great at it, and
Right.
do more of that, whatever that is for you, because it's going to be different for each one of us. But be good at that one thing and do it with excellence and be consistent at it. And I think you're going to see that you're going to do more of what you love, and things will come your way. I mean, for us, we've been able to build a business, a database that even through these times, we're constantly closing and getting deals done. And I do see that there's tough times in the market, and it's hard to get your deals accepted sometimes. But I think as you get better, that is going to get better for you as well, because you're becoming a sharper agent.
Right. And I think one of the other things is to be creative. Don't get stuck in the same mindset. You have to do what's working in today's market. You know, the things that worked back then, or the offers, the way you wrote them back then, they are not going to work today. So always be willing to be flexible and kind of think outside the box. And I think that's one of the things that impressed me so much too with EXP was you're encouraged to step outside the box. Even
And
with
that we have such a beautiful community here, especially with Honey Badger Nation, that we can
yes,
ask for help. We can reach out, and somebody's willing to open their playbook and help you out. How many times have we seen that people say, "Hey, does anyone have an email drip campaign that's working for them for sellers?"
all
Or,
the time.
yeah, and people are constantly, don't be afraid to reach out for help. If we allow our ego to get in the way and not let us ask for help, thinking, you know, we should have it, you know, I should be able to find this, figure this out on my own. You can't grow that way, because you only know what you know. And so you need help, and we need to reach out. And so I love that we have this opportunity. We're one big fire.
Yes.
We keep growing, and it's because we help each other out. And so
I mean, at the speed of light too.
Yeah.
It's EXP has grown in ways that, you know, people really couldn't imagine, and people did not see it or believe it when it first started out, but it definitely is becoming one of the top brokers worldwide. So I'm very happy and proud to be a part of it. I am so thankful to you for coming and joining me this morning and taking your time to speak to agents out there who may be wanting a change. So thank you so much. Tell your husband, knock that closing out, and it's okay that he wasn't here. We're good with that. So y'all have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. All right. Bye-bye.
This is Honey Badger Nation,
where real estate agents from around the globe come together
to grow, collaborate,
and expand their business.
Where we take our individual fires
and put them together and make one big fire.
This is the Honey Badger Nation.